Part 2, What is the origin of all things? List of natural philosophers. Have you ever thought about the origin of this world? Some would think that God created this world. If you are familiar with science, you would think that this world is made up of particles called elementary particles. More than 2,000 years ago, many philosophers considered the origin of the world. They are called natural philosophers because they pay attention to the world, especially the natural world. Number 1, Thales, the origin of all things is water. In the modern age of science, it is known that all substances are made up of particles called elementary particles. Therefore, the claim that the origin of all things is water is false. However, water occupies 70% of the earth and 60% of human beings, and there is no doubt that water is a very important substance. It can be said that Thales, who focused on water more than 2,000 years ago, had a keen perspective. Above all, I think the idea that this world is made up of one origin in this era is amazing. Number 2, Pythagoras, the origin of all things is numbers. Have you ever heard of the name Pythagoras? He discovered Pythagorean theorem. It's a theorem about triangles. He considered the origin of the world to be a number. Thales thought that water, something we could touch, was the origin of all things, while Pythagoras thought that the sign, number was the origin. It is strange at first glance, but this way of thinking is not false. Modern science thinks that all substances are made up of particles called elementary particles, but the science itself uses numbers. Therefore, it can be said that Pythagoras, who thought that numbers were the origin of the world, is correct in a sense. Number 3, Heraclitus, the origin of all things is fire. Fire is very important for cooking food and warming the body, but his idea is wrong from the viewpoint of modern science. However, I think his novel point is that he thought that the changing thing like fire is the origin of all things. In modern science, elementary particles are considered to be the origin of all things, but the elementary particles are invisibly small. And it is said that the elementary particles are constantly changing. I think Heraclitus, who thought that the changing things were the origin of all things, was also a great philosopher. Number 4, Empedocles, the origin of all things is fire, air, water, and soil. As an aside, do you know the anime Beyblade? Among them, fire, wind, water, and oil come out as 4 elements. I think that the idea that there are 4 origins is a novel idea that had never been seen before. Modern science says that there are several types of elementary particles. Considering the fact, Empedocles' perspective is also close to the truth. Number 5, Democritus, the origin of all things is an atom. Democritus considered the origin of all things to be the particles of atoms. Finally, the correct answer appear. Although the names of atoms and elementary particles are different, they are the same in that they are small particles. Wouldn't it be great to reach the truth with just the human head over 2,000 years ago? Old people don't have TVs or smartphones, but I think they are amazing people who can think about things with their own minds without relying on people's information.